All right, hello and welcome. This is going to be part 2 to the Daily Dharma. In the future, as I've mentioned for anyone who's heard this before, we will be taking the extended Daily Dharmas over to the membership portal once I get that created. So keep your eyes and ears open to the vibes. I will let you know as soon as I create those portals, and that will enable us to get right to the point for the smaller collectives that are tuned in there, and so it'll make the messages more specific to what you're dealing with, and I'll be creating extended content for members as well. So I'm not going to do that until I have more time to commit, such as going into the winter months. That's when the gardening isn't actively keeping me hopping and everything else. So we're getting a lot of messages in the first Daily Dharma about our power and our capacity as humans. And because the human is just an avatar shell, a character that we are embodying, which is by its literal nature a choice. And choices change over time. Behavior takes time to modify, but it comes with initially looking through a type of energy and identifying preference, choosing, identifying, aligning, choosing, identifying, aligning, and that new routine becomes a new outcome. And the new outcome can literally and does literally change our biochemistry. And I know I've said this many times before, but for anyone who is looking to change their physical chemistry immediately, it only takes 3 minutes. If you want to practice some type of what Amy Cuddy on a TED Talk calls power posing, such as straightening your posture, rolling the shoulders up and back, standing perhaps with your legs a little bit shoulder width apart, hands at the hips, and with the shoulders back, head up, and a smile and a very confident gaze. Play act that for 3 minutes, or other power poses. Like, I know this might sound ridiculous to many, but these literally power poses, and I'm going to do this. This is my Wonder Woman pose, like that. And you can also gesture like this. Some of the activation of our chi, we can go and take our hands and press our palms, like pull the palms back towards the forearm and push our arms out from the shoulders with a little bit of energy, not uncomfortably so, but imagining our energy pushing into our wrists as we extend them. And we can hold that for a minute. And we can also take that energy and then pushing up. I believe this one is balling the fist and creating this like muscle type energy, and lifting the arms super high with energy, pushing, holding that for a minute. And then I do believe that one is up on tippy toe. If you can do that, you may need to practice against a wall to help you with balance. And then I believe the third pose for the Tai Chi part, or the Chi activation, is pressing downward towards the ground, again activating the wrists in some way. You'll have to look that up for yourself, and holding that downward pose. And you can see how this, for those of us tuning into this channel, we're all into the activation of the energies, right? And so it's like pushing through and activating your extremities of your auric field. And we have the Merkaba consciousness pair coming out in the previous Daily Dharma number 1 for today. So yeah, check that out. I'm not going to repeat those, but it's all about, it started out with the divine masculine. So it's all about how we choose to embody our energy, how we choose, quite literally, to change the mind, to become someone who can fearlessly shift our energy and our physical reality because of our ability to channel this rejuvenation of our spiritual essence. And so it's like, it doesn't matter almost which one we choose first, but if we can take steps on the mental, the emotional, the physical, the psychological, the spiritual, and I mean, you could go on for wellness, but all of these various ways that we can activate our mind, body, and spirit come into the new energy. And it's by activating the the movement and momentum and the flow of the passion, the spark, the kundalini, the fire within, but to not let it burn up in anger, resentment, and frustration, or an unlived potential. That felt powerful to say that, because I know those tuning in here, you have a powerful destiny, or you would not be here. You want to live a purposeful life, to be at cause, to be purposeful. And many individuals that are tuning in also identify with some type of destined outcome or some type of chosen thought form. And that's, again, there goes the nose itching, because it's about, why were we chosen as children, many of us, to participate in these various programs, to be looked at and to be studied, whether that was through some level of counseling or medical intervention or educational intervention or focus groups or otherwise. And look at the patterns that you have evoked in yourself and in others, whether these are dating, relationships, how they mimic your past, present, future, and your beliefs in self. Breaking through those levels has been a common theme for many of us. And also looking at how those same energies may or may not be allowed to play out further in things like our jobs or our career. Because even if you quit your day job and go work for yourself, let me tell you, that same boss energy that wants to be your authority will attempt to make its way through your clientele as well. And so it's about, you cannot outrun your patterns. You have to remain powerfully centered in that and just witness that again and again to override the patterns in the program. It's a shame when my coffee gets cold. I probably had enough. The card that has been poking out through the deck since I was shuffling here is the number 1 card, Transformation Through Illumination, the Magician. Absolutely. I made a reference to the Magician earlier as we were talking about that Tai Chi, reaching above, reaching below, reaching side to side. Let's talk also about the Hermetic principles, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Think about how much power and capacity is out in the universe. Think about all the stars and how we've already learned very, very obviously how to harness the light from the literal stars and the sun through various types of frequencies, such as solar power, and then we convert that through the AC and the DC conversion, and then we store that in batteries, which are done with like what's hydrometer coming through right now? Something to do with batteries. It's one of the Sabian symbols. I'm not sure which it is. It would be incredible if it's one of them being triggered in your chart personally, or one of them in the astrological charts of either the equinox or the coming solar eclipse, which is it today? It can't be today. I think it's tomorrow. It's the 21st. Interesting. So the illumination of the magician is one who awakens to their capacity. So the thread that I was on before I become distracted again is all about, if we are star seeds, if we are these powerful capacitors which have been creating energy for the system, whether it's through our jobs, which is us putting our energy, time, energy, and attention to help others to build their dreams so that we can get this money in exchange for our light. Then we use that money in exchange for things like food to replenish our light. And then we use that food to engage in things such as having more energy and attention to keep putting towards our life. And so this illuminating cycle is, how do we bypass the programming that tells us that we have to get our energy passively through money? That one came up in the first reading, so I'm interested to see where this goes. So transformation through illumination, something about something very simple, a simple intuition that's coming through, and you're having some type of confidence in your ability to speak something or to move something forward. And it's because you're understanding some level of self-worth that is surfacing in your life, and it's an answer to your prayers. And then incredible. So it's also coming through with this gifted card and the integrity. So I'll just, for any of my skeptics out there, this is what we're seeing. Of course, yeah, some of you will think that I could have set that up. I mean, I could have, and the birthing card wants to fly out. So I feel like this does have to do with the genetics that we have in our line. Like, how many of us have individuals in our family line that, whether they channeled that through spirituality or through intuition or literal interest in the occult or something like that, or we're always intuitively connected to us through different ways, attuned and calibrated to Mother Earth, nature, or something else, or people who just knew things or knew how to elicit things from others, even those who were very intuitive manipulators. There's all of this intuition that goes into our lineage, and what makes us very incredible at this time and place is our choice to tune into messages like these that are coming through right now, to attune and recalibrate with the 2 of activations, and to celebrate with the 4 of light codes. So yeah, to celebrate the process and to not get lost in what seems to be a dystopian existence. The best way to win a war is to convince people that they have lost from the beginning. So if you look at AI, if you look at the education, at least in the one that I received as a child, they made us memorize facts and figures about specific things in our past, such as wars, famines, and they and concentration camps, and the rise of different authoritarians. And yeah, they gave us these things with the guise of, well, don't let history repeat. But ultimately, they were teaching us through an authoritarian regime of one teacher in charge of many students. You had to ask to go to the bathroom, and if you didn't have enough hall passes, or if you had a weak bladder, you had to sit it out or be in trouble. If you spoke out of turn too many times, you had to go either in the hall by yourself and put your head down. You weren't allowed to move or to have items to distract you. You might have had to do sentences to very, very firmly ingrain by muscle memory, thought recording, and repetition, compliant behavior. Wow, this is going in a different direction. But think about why would they do that? Why would they say, well, don't let this happen, and then teach us that that was the way to power, that was the way to authority, that was the only way to be the one that made the rules and not the one that had to sit out. They created the social levels and reinforced them. I remember speaking out in gym class one day because the teacher was a misogynist. How many of you had the creepy gym teacher? And we were trying to play dodgeball, And because a few different individuals, he was seeing these girls being silly because they were trying to get the attention of boys by being weak and silly, and the boys were being competitive. And then he wanted all the girls to stand up 5 paces from the center line and pummel each other with the balls because we were weak shots, and the boys had to stay against the far mats at the ends of the basketball court in the gym and catch the balls that we would accidentally flail off. And if they caught one, then we could be out if they caught it twice on the girls. But if the boys threw and got caught, then they would have to be out the first time. And so I lined up against the back of the gym with the boys because I didn't believe in that. And he tried to educate me, and he tried to ask me if I understood the message several times, and I was stonewall, and I was very shy and complicit for the most part. And he tried to counsel me and intervene and tell me to just be with the girls, but I was making a very declarative statement. It was a small class and a small school, and everyone knew the type of person that I was. And this has been a theme in my life for standing up. And I didn't get sent to the office. I didn't get reprimanded. He had me sit out on the stage, which was at the side, and just not participate. Well, good. I wasn't about to participate in your effed up thing. You know, there were times where Cave and Vines coming here, yeah, it's like your calm handling of some situation and your inner reflection here. 8 of Earth Guardians. It's like you're guarding the portal of people's understanding with this cosmic identity. Look at the crystals forming at the third eye over the crown. It's like some people have that calcified third eye pineal perspective, and you have a crystalline third eye pineal perspective, and you're guarding that. The vines that fear induces and indoctrination induces really holds people immobile, where they just follow the lines, like the lines that they put on the supermarket floors. And a few years back that some will remember, I'm seeing the ladybug on this too, priestess of portals. Exactly. You know the way out, and you're not going to let people be eclipsed, and you don't need to. Oh, I'm hearing the Cloud Atlas thing. It's like, what if no one believes you? He says to her before she's going to be put to death. And she says, someone already does. And it's like, yeah, you don't need to reach everybody, because everyone's subconscious recognizes and registers truth at a very, very deep sense, because it's not part of the 6 senses, it's part of the extended senses, that people are automatically activated by truth speakers and by those who embody that. And that is why so many of us are triggering and activating others so crazily. It's like, because we are those priests and priestesses of the portals to their own remembrance at 1818. And it's about the portals of compartmentalization. Each one is guarded by passcodes, by manipulation, by encoded words that only become accessed by key phrases, so that they can be continually served to you in the algorithms. Oh, I'm seeing a little, is that a blue jay girl, or it's got a little cone head over there? Couple birds coming in and saying hello. Good morning. Actually, I think it's a different type of a bird. It's way too small. I think maybe it's called like a titmouse. Anyways, there was also something else about the other situation, sticking up for bullying. Not the bullying, but those who were the bullies to the bullies. You know what I'm trying to say. I will not be caught up in that too long. So I'm remembering a specific situation, a kid that had been labeled as special and different. He, in middle school, when it was very uncool, he had a stuffed animal that he would put in his back pocket, and he would take it out in the lunch line with his little fine-tooth comb, and he'd comb the baby's hair. it was like a koala or something, and he would speak to it and be very kind, and people would laugh at him, but most people wouldn't really do anything except talk behind his back. But not everyone. And as we got older, I remember in high school, it was my sophomore or junior year in school, I remember, because we were in the new school, and one of the cool kids came up, and he did have very large ears, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he came up and he was picking on this kid that was actually a different kid. It was a different kid who was also not a cool kid, and clearly didn't come from money and things like that. And he was in the line, the lunch line, and this big-eared popular kid came over and was like, "Hey, how's it going, so and so?" And he's right up in his face looking at his plate, and instead of grabbing something from the lunch line, he grabbed the food from this kid's plate, puts it on his own. He's like, "Thanks, blah, 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 blah." And he says a few things. And me, again, this one who says nothing to no one, and everyone knows it, I turned around and very calmly and very precisely ruined his day. And that's enough of that story. But how many of you can relate to that, being the champions and the guardians of others' heart, and not allowing the groupthink mentality to ruin you? Waterfall, priestess of earth guardians. There is a lot of priestess energy. You may very much be into the occult and into ministering, even though that is kind of a slippery, egoic, spiritual path to go on. I am on it as well. But the ego does not need to be the false ego. So there's definitely a solitary energy to this, but it's like your compassion, seeing a frog now with some yellow stripes down its back, your energy and the way that you have championed other individuals when nothing was in it for you. Even worse than that, it was probably seen by many as something so courageous that they would never have the wherewithal to do. And it has earned you a space in the consciousness and in the hearts of many more individuals than you know. I'm remembering a time in elementary school where I would be nice to other individuals when the mean girls came around. One of these girls I went to school with, and I'm thinking of these koi fish as I talk about this. And I remember that then she tried to be my friend, but we really didn't have anything in common. So I did end up snubbing her a little afterwards, but I was never mean. I just, redirected her and kept on my business. But I stuck up for her many times, and I know that that was meaningful. And so there's people from your past sending you positive thoughts as they're reawakening to things that happened in their past that they have suppressed or repressed, things that were very challenging to them because they were socially outcast. You identified some level with that. Whether you were outcast or another, there is a powerful entangled bond that exists between these souls that have acted in each other's best interest. And it's a powerful, powerful, energetic release happening for many, crying out these old things so that they can release the water and the saltiness that goes with resentments. Contemplative solitude, the hermit. Exactly. I knew we were talking about some level of isolation and solitude practice here. Beautiful. So we get the evolving light codes, 17, the star, major arcana, with 8, origins of life, the 8, major arcana, and harmony in adversity, the 26, 5 of light codes. This is what we're talking about with these activations. In my job as well, there were various times where I was told to do specific things, and I would either refuse orders or I would educate my superiors. And it is not a mistake that I do that. And I continue to do that to this day. And I don't need any recognition. I don't need your titles. I don't need your thought control. I know that when I walk into the room, I am often the most powerful person in that place. And I know it, and I doubt it. And I still succumb to the social cues and fears of things such as imposter syndrome. But look at where that originates from. Everything we've talked about so far. And I just want to leave that there because we've talked about it enough. Action beyond the ordinary under the deck. 32. Initiate of light codes. You are the initiator of this transformation through the illumination of truth, honesty, integrity, and the power within your soul. When you look at others, you make the devil shrivel in his MF and loafers. Anyone with these demonic vibrational attachments shakes in their boots when you come around, because you are the gold of the earth. I'm getting with this one, we talked about superhuman sub-level hearing. Was that in this one or the first Daily Dharma? And we also talked about the gold energy frequencies. There's this gold dragon, golden light code frequency, because we are the illuminated star seed elementals that have this ultra capacitor for the light codes. That's why we've got all these light codes coming in. And when adversity, when the storms come along, we are the ones that can rejuvenate people's that joie de vivre that I talked about. Was that the first one? It's like people's spark of life. I think that you are the one that comes back, that timeless guardian that you are on the ethers, on the multiverse. You travel to individuals in their lucid dreams, and you hold them and you tell them, stick it out. You are worth more than those people ever taught you or told you to be. I'm getting very emotional. Someone that you touched at the heart level in your past is staying on this earthly plane because of you. Give me just all right. I pause to say a prayer, to breathe deeply through that moment. Any of you that are joining here today that are in need of these messages and this love and this light, let any gathered here, past, present, future, gather and elevate the light for these individuals. We uplift you and we love you. And even though I've never met you, I love you because I understand the struggle is real. To press through the debate and the cognitive dissonance going on within our alchemy that tells us to stay small or to believe the haters, the doubters, the fear, the program. And I'm here to help you to build the new crystalline matrices within all of your lives. We're here together in this time. So I'm seeing deep dive, 4 of portals with, oh wow, so many of these cards are still quite new to me. The 39 deep dive portals I've seen before, but it's that waterfall energy and the ability that you have on the timeless ethers to program these timeless codes within the DNA, within the blueprint of other individuals when they were at lower vibrational frequencies and they were not able to understand your message or your guardianship, but they knew that there was something. They planted the seed and it is coming forward again. The shoot has taken as many years as it needed in order to come up above the surface, and then it's taken however long it needed in order to be cultivated into the sprout and further into the bush, and then helping to weed out any infiltrating fear, and to then become the tree, which then in time, in as ever many years as it takes, becomes the fruit. which maybe these people are now having children and they're telling stories about you and they're telling their kids important codes that will lay in their blueprint to be activated. The 10, the wheel of life, in it, but not of it, was below the deep dive. Look at all of those zodiac signs. How many people you have touched. It's not even known to you. The more people that, and it's got that rainbow frequency of the Aquarian age as this water bearer, but with the light codes here, all the dynamic, intense frequencies that you yield. And look at the wave here. It's that wave function. It's the energy of all things, the tides, and walking on water, the Moses that splits the tides. It's coming out with the Paladin of Earth Guardians with Mountain. The struggle is real, but you're elevating yourself and others by your faith and your trust. Comes out with the microcosm, activating the cells within yourself, activating the people that you activated's family line. It's like as you are touched, everyone that you encounter is now activated by the light codes that you emit just by being in a room. You give them a packet of little energetic seeds. No matter what energy you're in, good, bad, or indifferent, you carry these codes nonetheless. And Naga of the Golden Lotus, the Empress, and reclaim your power at the bottom of that stack. I mean, damn, right? I mean, didn't I say the Golden Dragon? And now we get the Naga of the Golden Lotus with a dragon on it. Reclaim your power. You are so much more than you have been led to believe. And you exist in a timeless legacy in the lives, in the hearts, and the aura, and the shield of everyone you have ever encountered. And all of your guides and guardians are here to remind you that your aura isn't here. You are the mother-loving cosmos. Because you love the mother, you are the cosmos. And because you love yourself, you love everyone with this golden energy that you have brought down to the earth. You are this harvest goddess, guardian, God. Quite literally, bringing this harvest. Yeah, earth and sea. And we're at the end of this video. I hope this has been as incredible for you as it has been for me. I love reading the cards. I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, I'm emotional today. I'm going to do a third reading. I think that this is a powerful time, and I hope that all of you guys will look back at some of the old material and follow the channel and help us build and grow this movement. What's on the bottom? Oh my God, I'm not even supposed to show that. Seriously, this is why I should have looked at